Hey guys, and welcome back to Rodea the Sky Soldier. From this point on, I have no idea what's going to happen, so I am just as excited as you are. Don't you laugh maniacally at me.
Oh, there's some wonderful things coming up.
But you use wonderful to describe good and bad things, so I don't know how to feel.
Yeah, so we're going to have quite a bit of plot happening at the start of this chapter. It's actually a really short chapter when you do the actual gameplay bit, but it's very heavily front-loaded.
Is her granddad a robophobic?
Yes, I think because obviously the Naga attacking, so most robots are evil.
Okay.
So he's a bit nervous around the likes of Rodea, because he thinks that Rodea is going to try and kill him.
To be fair, Rodea looks humanish compared to, like, the floating sky fish.
Pretty much, yeah.
and you know, the laser crabs.
Yeah.
Like, was this really necessary to render in CGI?
Probably not, but I quite like it as a shot.
It's just like him reclining on the grass, it's all good.
But I suppose it's easier to envision that in a CGI cutscene than trying to do it in the 2D sprite style.
You could just make a new 2D image, like with him with his hands behind his head.
True, but yeah, we get to meet the rest of the people from Ion's village.
Sweet.
Although I can't remember most of their names apart from Tonio, which is the kid.
Well, his crying is engraved into my memory forever.
Yeah, and then Sonia, which is his sister, which is that girl just there.
Yeah, she's like... I think she handles, like, the collectibles and, like, the upgrades and the unlockables in the 3DS one.
Yes, she does. And that particular character puts me in a little bit of an awkward position in trying to talk through things because of a cutscene that's going to happen later on.
Okay.
Because the way they handled the character, it's not great. You can probably tell where that's all going from the way her voice is. It just makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable.
Okay.
So we will move away from that.
I will prep myself for anime bullshit.
That is probably a very good idea.
I'm getting a little bit of a Skyloft feel right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's going for that same slightly primitive world in the sky. I mean, that is pretty much what most sky-based things go with, to be fair.
He looks pretty good for his age, does Ion's granddad, I gotta say.
Well, yes, but apart from when he gets exasperated or terrified at something, in which case he just goes grey immediately.
Well, that's an anime trope as well, I guess. Well, I mean, Rodea's got greyer hair than him right now.
Well, that is very true.
Okay. Ooh, volcano time!
Yep, although we're not really going to do a whole lot with this particular volcano. We're going to get more lava-y stuff in the later chapters of this particular world. So, you'll just have to hold on a little bit longer.
Oh, this music, though.
Oh, it's glorious.
Don't forget, if you want to listen to this without us jabbering over it, you can always head on over to Hellfire Playthroughs, where we've got the whole playthrough up without commentary. Ploggity plug plug. Okay, what are we doing here? Just a race to the goal?
Yes, so we are just heading to the top of Mount Eben. Obviously, Eben meaning ebony. Because that is what you need to call a volcano. Okay.
I probably could have figured that out on my own, but thank you for spelling it out.
Yeah, this is a pretty short chapter, all things considered.
Who are these, like, yellowfish even harming? Like, I can imagine the spiky redfish getting in a fatality every now and then, but even then you'd have to physically walk into them.
Yeah, I don't know. But they're essentially the Goombas of the game.
That's a good way of putting it, yeah.
Well, I mean, that is probably the best way of describing them you could think of. Because they are the ridiculously simple enemy that really shouldn't cause you any harm, and yet somehow walking into them does, despite the fact that, well, the Goombas look squishy.
Yeah.
So they really shouldn't do you any harm, and obviously those fish are flying so slowly that they couldn't even hurt you with a bit of blunt force.
I think I've made this particular argument before. If a Goomba's walking along the ground and it doesn't make a lunging animation, it ain't doing shit to me. But if it's in the water, it has to make a lunging animation, so that makes sense.
Exactly.
Oh, that was a pretty short, sweet bonus level.
Yeah, some of them are really nicely short and simple. Others are incredibly cruel.
Fair enough.
I mean, you're going to see some of them, pretty sure, in this particular world. And by world, I mean set of 5 levels.
That's okay. We've had discussions about, like, level and world and arena and such as well.
Yeah, so if ever I refer to world, I do just mean this set of 5 levels.
Okay.
There's quite a few in in chapters 16 to 20. There's quite a few really mean bonus rooms in there, and also in the final stretch of levels. But outside of that, we were all good.
I love the rhythm in this theme, like the clapping and whatnot. It's getting vaguely Celtic. Maybe I'm just bringing Irish bias, you know?
It's probably a good idea, to be fair. Add to the charm of Rodea, make you love it more.
Like, who doesn't love Celtic music, apart from people who really don't like Celtic music? I was going to ask if you could bring the gun in here, actually. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention in earlier bonus levels.
Yeah, the gun can come through with you. It can really badly screw you over in 1 or 2 bonus rooms. There's one, I don't know whether it's this particular world or if I've already faced it or what, but I will have nightmares about that particular bonus room because you need to use the bomb to get higher.
Bomb?
Every time that I have gone into that bonus room, I have naturally shot the bomb and therefore completely screwed myself out of getting the legacy medal. Because if you shoot the bomb, you've got nothing to help you climb higher.
Yeah.
And then you just need to fall. But in the meantime, we've got to deal with strong wind.
We're a robot, we can fly past strong winds.
Yeah, although you can get killed by this if you're not careful.
What is that bee thing that keeps appearing every so often?
So that is to do with the strong wind. If you are on the ground, then that is basically you clinging to the ground to prevent yourself from being flung off.
Oh, that's kind of clever, actually.
It's rather mean, and essentially you just want to be in the air whenever the strong wind is playing about, because then you actually have control over what's happening.
In general, honestly, it's a much more fun game when you're, just in the air taking advantage of Rodea's natural skills.
Well, exactly. I mean, the way that you're kind of meant to play Rodea is to never really touch the ground.
Yeah, it's all about like, building combos and such.
Exactly.
And, to a certain extent, the flight meter in, like, the Wii U and 3DS version of the game does allow for that. Like, you've got to, like, be strategic and use, what flight you have available carefully to chain stuff together and, find stuff and so on. But on the other hand, this just seems a lot more free and fun and keeping with the spirit of flight.
Well, this is entirely free and fun and keeping with the spirit of flight.
Yeah.
I get that the 3DS version needed to have limitations because you simply can't have the same control scheme. But then you look at something like, I know it's not the best example, but Kid Icarus Uprising.
I was just about to say that. I want a sequel to that. Number one, with better controls, because I'm sorry, I hurt my wrists by the end of the game. I like the game for the most part. The control scheme wasn't the best idea. But for the second game, I hope there's some contrivance that allows Pit to fly indefinitely, and just have, like, more fun kind of flying levels, and, like, allow flight in the main levels and such.
I mean, that would be wonderful. I mean, I think what Kid Icarus Uprising desperately needed was a second control stick.
Yep.
And to essentially work like Star Fox. In the sense of you're moving your character... Well, also Sin and Punishment, I think.
Yeah.
In moving the control stick to move the character, and then moving the other control stick to move your targeter.
Yeah. Can I just say, in regards to Star Fox Zero, my like, interest in that game went up, like, by about tenfold when I heard there's actual routes and such in the game.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, if you have a look at some of the footage that they've very recently revealed, like, in the last few days or last week or so, it's looking a lot better.
Yeah, because I was, like, really cynical, because I've said, like, a few times that I've come to realise that I'm more of a Star Fox 64 fan than a Star Fox fan in general. So to have something that kind of harkens back to why you consider it to be a really good game is just nice. I don't need it to be exactly like it, but as long as you've got, like, multiple routes and, the planets are sort of different and so on, I'm sound as a pound, really. I don't really need much from that type of game.
I mean, the thing that I find quite funny with Star Fox Zero is that public opinion of it seems to have done a rather dramatic 180.
Well, yeah.
And I think part of that is because Nintendo have done... Well, Nintendo and Platinum Games have worked hard to try and improve the game as much as possible, but also I think something that people want to hate more has appeared, and so the stuff that's going on with Star Fox Zero doesn't feel as bad.
Yeah. I think I'm going to pick it up and give it a shot. Who knows, maybe we'll do a playthrough of it.
Well, I know I for one, will definitely be picking the game up. I mean, I'm going to support Platinum no matter what.
Ah, yeah, you're a Platinophile, aren't you?
Well, of course, they make excellent games.
Are you picking up the new Ninja Turtles game?
Well, of course.
Which of the turtles will you be?
Oh... I mean, I suppose I kind of have to be Donatello.
Do you do machines?
Well, less so than probably I would do normally, but I think of our HFC dynamic, that's probably where I'd go.
Who am I, then?
Well, you're technically Leonardo.
Fuck yeah, I am.
You're the leader.
Double katanas.
THD would be Raphael.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then MVM is Mikey.
Fuck yeah, buddy.
But yeah, the mission is now over.
Oh, are we going to get to a lava level in the next part?
We should do, yes. If not, it'll definitely be the chapter after that.
Oh, I think fire and ice levels are like my favourite types of tropes in video games, but we'll discover more about that in the next part of Rodea the Sky Soldier. Bye for now.